Hello, and thank you for watching this video. My name is Ryan Baldwin. I will give a brief demo overview before handing it over to my colleague Dimitri, who will provide a demonstration of the InfoCDC and AS400 gateway from MuleSoft. In this demonstration, we'll see the InfoCDC listen for active DB changes in specified tables. After detecting the change, the component will pass the change on to the AS400 gateway from MuleSoft. There you will see the change streamed in MuleSoft. This will lead to Salesforce receiving the change and updates will be made in real time. Next, I will be handing it off to Dimitri to start the demo.
Thanks, Ryan. Let me share my screen and run through the actual demo. Hope it works. So we'll start with a brief description of the use case. As Ryan outlined before, we have a legacy ERP system. We maintain order fulfillment status in this system. Of course, it's just a demo application that we built for this end-to-end flow, but it would be representative of the real-time real use case. Suppose that we have an ERP that has several orders, and we need to synchronize our order status with our CRM. In our case, we use Salesforce, and as you can see, the orders are already there in the same state. We have order 144 here in the status of shipped, and we have the same here. Let me change the status to, let's say, invoiced. So I'm going to press enter, and behind the scene, the change will be captured by our change InfoCDC product in near real time, streamed to MuleSoft application using our AS400 connector data queue listener, and then published to Salesforce using Salesforce API or Salesforce connector. So it worked great. As you could see that it did change the status in near real time. Now let me walk through the IBMI and MuleSoft configurations to see how to make it happen with no coding required on IBMI side and minimal development required within MuleSoft environment. So starting with IBMI, we use our product InfoCDC to configure an order header table. And let me just show the configuration here. As you can see, we define a table, ERP order header in library mule demo DK. That's my demo library. And here the product automatically pulls the information about that table from the system. It recognized unique key constraint and the list of the columns, the type, the length, and the sequence. So here we only are interested in order status changes, so we don't care about whether other columns are changing or not. So we can define it as a watch change flag for this field, order status. And for replication purposes, we only need Salesforce order ID and new status. Again, we don't need the rest of the fields, which could be very helpful if some legacy applications might have hundreds of columns within denormalized tables. And if the target application only needs maybe a handful of those, then that would definitely cut on the amount of network chatter. So we set up the two fields to be replicated. And once we start that replication flow within InfoCDC product, it will start listening for the changes in near real time. So the moment the change applies to the database, the product will capture that change and stream it to target system through data queues. And that's where MuleSoft component comes to play. We have a Mule application that listens for that data queue. And for every new event, it will trigger the processing. As you can see, we define the data queue and the library. We can define a format file that InfoCDC product generates for this application, which essentially includes the columns we need. In this case, Salesforce order and status, as well as some metadata like the journal sequence number, the date timestamp of the transaction itself, whether it's insert or update or delete, and some other things. Right. So when MuleSoft receives that message, it's already automatically parsed. Connector takes care of all the type translations, and you just work as a MuleSoft developer. You work with a list of name and value pairs. As you can see, the Mule application is extremely simple. We're just logging the information and then eventually calling Salesforce. In this case, not directly, but through another system API, following the API-led connectivity, API layering best practices. And at the end, we write the acknowledgement to a response data queue. And very straightforward Mule flow. And on the Mule side, it's on the Salesforce side, it just updates the status of the order, nothing special here. And that concludes the demo part of this presentation. Back to you, Ryan.
Thank you for your time watching this demonstration. If you have any questions or would like to get in contact, our phone number and email are on the screen. You can visit our website at www.infoviewsystems.com or check out our information in the description below.